I'd like Dr. Graziano to comment on his involvement because you had a relationship with Dr. McGinty through a mutual patient, I believe.
Right.
And he got you involved in the educational process of the JCRC, correct?
Right. That was probably the most exciting thing that we did is that when we got here and we talked to Dr. Majani about this, and we knew that he was trying to get all of this therapy for his patients. And we found that the physicians or healthcare workers really needed education of how to do this. And it was really fascinating because we formed this little group of Dr. Sali, Dr. Musimi, and myself, and Mike Madeline, and we went all over the country. And we would put on these little shows, if you will, at these little tiny clinics trying to educate healthcare workers about HIV and how to approach HIV, how to approach those patients. You know, the thing that I should say is that this has been an incredible journey because when we first came here, all we talked about was death and dying. And what's the best way that we can tell the patient that they're going to die? And over the 16 years at least that I have been here, and we've had our group and we've done this, including yourself, we have seen an incredible progression of people understanding how to treat HIV. And actually, the thing that always amazes me is that they're actually better at it than we are.
What I remember is you, Dr. Graziano, and I were sitting in a speakers meeting, and I had some experience in Kenya. I'd gone a few times and could see what was happening in there. And you'd been to Uganda, and you thought about the idea of having actually an annual meeting, correct?
Yeah, well, again, we started as these very small meetings all over the country, and then when that didn't become feasible anymore, what we did is we said, let's get people together, the best people that we have in Uganda, and some of the best people, including yourself, that we could find in the United States. And when that came together, our first conference, I think we had 50 people there, and now we have something like 230 people who are registered for this conference.
And it's all from all over East Africa.
They're from all over Uganda, and now we're getting East Africa also, which is a gratifying thing because I think it's very important. I think one of the things that's very important is not only getting control and suppression, but sustaining suppression. That's really, really what's going to be the key now. Is trying to sustain these people when they're suppressed. So we can't give enough credit to Dr. Mujeni, I think, because his vision a long time ago when we started talking about this was that we have to sustain it, but we have to do it ourselves. We have to be able to keep going ourselves because PEPFAR, the funds are going to dry up eventually, but we're hoping that they get enough of the tools so that they can continue to do this.
And that's what this conference does.
Yeah.
And we go and we transmit information and we learn from our colleagues. And I think the joint nature of what we're trying to do, which is skills building and confidence building and improvement in clinical efficiency, is what this is all about.
Peter always tells me that the meeting and the stuff that we do in this meeting, it makes a huge difference for the people. Somebody made a comment that the people that Dr. Sali has trained now are the leaders in the country in the treatment of HIV, and that's quite a compliment.
You're the pioneer.